And in international news, cornered by increasing public pressure over graft in governance in India, Pranab Mukherjee, India's finance minister, said on Sunday that the federal government was taking all measures to tackle and eradicate the menace of corruption. The finance minister's comments came after a nationwide crusade against corruption, spearheaded by veteran activist Anna Hazare, which forced the government to accept public demand for a new anti-corruption law labelled Jan Lokpal Bill. Multi-billion-dollar scandals have dented the image of the government and rattled markets, triggering fierce public and political outcry, which the government now tries to calm.
Corruption is a serious issue, and corruption is to be fought. No party can afford to support the corruption or the corrupt practices. It is the responsibility of the authorities of every civilian government to fight against this menace. And there, if the public consciousness, if the public awareness is increased, surely it will be easier to handle and to tackle the problem.
Meanwhile, Kapil Sibal, Indian telecom minister and member of the drafting committee of the Jan Lok Bill, says that he has enormous respect for the social activist Anna Hazare and wants a strong bill to be drafted soon. Both Britain and the Netherlands voiced disappointment over the outcome of Iceland's referendum after voters again rejected a $5 billion repayment plan for bank losses. Iceland will now most likely face a drawn-out court case. Almost 60% of Iceland's voters opposed the repayment deal. According to British and Dutch officials, the case will now likely end up before the EFTA Surveillance Authority, the European trade body overseeing Iceland's cooperation with the European Union. The $5 billion of debt were incurred when the two countries compensated their nationals who lost savings in online iSafe bank accounts owned by Landsbanki, one of the three Icelandic banks that collapsed in late 2008. But Iceland's president, Ólafur Ragnar Grímsson, said that the issue was not about repayment but an issue of interest rates, insisting the $5 billion worth of debt should be repaid under fairer terms.
Because it is not at all the case that Britain and the Netherlands are not getting their money back, as they often say. They will get a huge amount of money back, even, as I've said, between 8, 9 or 10 billion US dollars. So therefore I say to my friends in Britain and the Netherlands, please stop speaking as if you're not getting your money back. You are getting a sum which, if you look at it within the context of the Icelandic economy, is bigger than the total investment in Iceland, in the Icelandic economy, for many, many, many years.
Japan's auto sector was downgraded by Citigroup today. This comes as Japan's car makers resume production at all their domestic factories after a devastating earthquake hit the country exactly 1 month ago. Japanese automakers fell across the board on the Tokyo Stock Exchange today after Citigroup cited lingering production uncertainty after the March 11th earthquake. Citi downgraded the shares of Japan's big three car makers Toyota, Honda and Nissan to a sell. Their output levels are currently at half their original production levels. Ironically, shares of nuclear plant operator Tokyo Electric Power rallied after brokerage firm Mitsui Securities reiterated its outperform rating on the battered power company's stock last week. Before we go, here's a quick look at the Asian equity, oil and the currency markets, and after that, Laura Buckwell is back with the news.